about it? Well, the reason it's special is because this week my co-announcer is the guy who everyone knows is kind of a big deal. It is the one and only PC hero, PS4 hero, everybody's hero, Mercy Flush. Now then, buddy, happy Christmas and
hello, Bernie. Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
Jolly good, buddy. And how are we today? How are you feeling? You've got to be pumped up, surely.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's the first day of my Christmas holidays.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm kicking back and relaxing.
Wow, that is awesome.
Some coffee and cigarettes, and enjoying
the
very
high
much
life.
Not going into work.
The high life of how the others live, guys. How, there you go. The rich man himself has got his own private jet. What we always hear in his thing, the private jet coming down, that's his own personal jet. And obviously his amazing pets who have vast knowledge. And I still say to this day, I think Mercy could be a fraud, I think he's the front. I think it's his animals who play the games for him. I honestly believe that because they have great wisdom and I have wonderful conversations with them.
Well, they're great fans of the show. They're sitting in, listening intently as we speak.
There you go. You see, wisdom beyond their years. So we've got an absolute, just a big show today, and obviously I'm sure we'll go through random stuff, various things I have learnt this week. If you decide to play in a private league, please read the rules. Otherwise, you become public enemy number one. So there is my tip.
Absolutely.
That is my
Ignorance
tip.
is no excuse, Bernie.
It isn't. I am. I did it in the MML to a certain extent, and I have now done it in various one. I do apologise to people. Thankfully, though, the one I'm actually, admin to, I do know the rules, so don't worry. That is perfectly safe.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
God knows what the rules will be next time, but yeah. Let's read them together.
We'll read them together, I'm sure. I think the next one is anyone can win it apart from Trip. I think that is is in the next rules. But so let's get on with this. I mean, this champion ladder, I've been so busy that I've not even made a run in this champions ladder. It is Hawkshore. This could be the first season I failed to make the playoffs. Oh, I might be just trying to do something.
What's going on, mate?
I know.
What you been doing?
Too many women. Too little time, mate. That's what it is. What can I say? When you become this, what can I say? I mean, I was just thinking, what? I might just wing it, get a Brett team in there, last day and all that, and do it that way. It seems a lot more easier than grinding. It has, hasn't it? It has, so, hey, we'll see. But yeah, it's just been so busy. But I suppose, this time of the year, obviously with Christmas and that, and people, I was told yesterday that, admins, they work damn hard and they don't get paid for it. And I'm like, right, yeah, I really don't know I really don't understand. I don't know what admins do, to be honest. It's not like I'm an admin.
No, what's for lavishing on our piles of cash, swimming pools full of cash.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, I was
volunteers. God, hearts go out to them. We should start a little charity or something.
We should. We should. Starting with ourselves, I think we should. But yeah, I mean, seriously though, I'm like, really? Yeah, I do know. We are, me, Messi, Gimlick, and obviously Sam. And obviously, the thing is what annoys me is obviously Sam and obviously Serious Jess at the time, they had children, they had just had babies. Congratulations. So obviously, I was working my ass off trying to keep it afloat. Was fine. And then obviously you came in and helped. And I'm like, it's like. Well, I understand, as an admin, that obviously it is a lot of hard work, and people don't see what we go through each day. And obviously we help people with their problems, and we basically not going to please everybody, but we do try and do our best. And like I say, us admins are always there. We're always there to help out.
We work with a pretty good bunch.
We do.
They're a pretty good bunch, aren't they? So,
ours are, yeah, absolutely.
Not as if it's an unruly pit, is it? I mean,
no.
We don't really have that many problems,
No, I think I just took offence that an admin from another private league was trying to lecture me about how hard it is at being an admin, and I'm like, mate, I've been one of the PS4 admins for donkeys, and I run I try and get all the shows done, and I try and get this done, and try and get that done. So please don't come to me about how hard it is being an admin. But I enjoy it. I love it. That's the reason we do it, isn't it? We do though, don't we? We do it because we love it, and we just like to pull our hair out, and we like to be told off that we're useless and cursed and all that sort of stuff. That's why we do it. So it is. Oh yeah, absolutely. But anyway, That's enough of my bitching. Let's get on with the Champions Ladder pole position this season. And it's the UC Brigade, isn't it? I mean,
it's all about the UC Brigade.
It is.
Indeed.
It is. And, you know, let's talk about the big news from, you know, what's come out. Calcium Cass, obviously banned from the Xbox One. Oh, my God, what did he get banned for this time? Actually, he just went over the concede limit. I'm sorry, it's nothing exciting. So basically, he's come back onto the PS4, and he said, who the fuck is this UC people? The ultimate conceders? Is that what they call themselves? And he was like saying...
Well, they haven't explained themselves yet. Well, no one really knows who they are.
Well,
someone needs to come forward as a rep and actually explain what their deal is. Because it's great advertising for whatever league this is.
It is. I mean, to be honest, if you have a look at the quality of players they have, TGV Major, as the two-time champ, official 999, who, okay, you know, he's a solid player.
That's right, we know them all. We know them all, don't we?
Flynn Sorrows, another one off the top of my head. They are trip fans. But they are very good, and obviously they have been dominating the league. But you know as well as I do,
they were totally dominating a few days ago. Look, it looks like a couple of guys have crept in to kind of break up the mix, but that's only been in the last day or so because I'm sure it was just a dominant foothold that they had over the top half dozen places.
Yeah, I think there's about like I said, about top 4 or 5. And you know what Cass is like. He claims to be the alpha male. He is the great white shark. He is the guy who rules this route. And when he sees something like UC absolutely dominating that first page, he's like, nah, this ain't happening. You know, he obviously... You know, he's annoyed with official because obviously official's trying to be the Cass, and he's like, nah, that's not going to happen. He's amazed that obviously our media player and him have this parting shot, and obviously he's saying, when did our media player become good? So that's going on. So he's upsetting that. Obviously, you know what Cass is like, you know, and. He basically wants them all. I said, oh, we should set up a team or something, you know, like the League of Gentlemen or something like that. I think I said that to them, just for some fun. And he's like, nah, I'm taking them all down. They're all going down. Every single one of them. I don't need no help.
You say that, but I had a casual little game last week, and I got drawn against him. And he came up against my dwarves. And I sent one of his Chaos Warriors to the morgue match 1. So I think the wheels came off of his revenge campaign already. So he might have to reset that team.
He did. He did. He came out with a masterstroke, an absolute masterstroke. I'll see if I can just find this team. Just bear with me. I've got to get it right. I've got to get the name of the team right, or else I'll be shot. Here we go. So, yeah, his new team is called Bernie's Reverse Curse. That's his new team, right?
That's the ones. They're the ones I beat.
What? No, you can't beat this team. I don't believe it. I bet you made it.
I beat them. Yeah.
No, this team's undefeated. 2-0.
Okay, well, it was a total reset then. Okay. So he's
total reset. Anyway.
He's obviously so chuffed with that theme name.
Well, I've now given him the blessing now, and that's important for the curse to work. So he was 0-0 against this dwarf team, ironically dwarf team as well, and it was 0-0, and I gave him this blessing, and I went on to watch the game because I didn't have time to play myself, and his opponent disconnected, blue screened or whatever, and he won the game 2-0, and it's like it's happening already. Wow. It's now I've given him the blessing. He wins. What can I say? So now with my blessing, he can feel confident in taking out the UC Brigade.
Well, very fortuitous as well, because now we've got the new patch, which means blue screens are a thing of the past. Allegedly.
You say that, but it happened this morning. So there you go. Even the new patch cannot stop the Bernie's curse. It's as simple as that. It's not powerful enough to stop it. So you know, and you know,
it's here to stay then.
It is. I mean, look at the way it was. I tipped Dave from the UC to win the full championship, and what happened? He went out first round. I tell you what, these coaches let me down all the time. I don't think he bloody lost hardly any game at all. I pick him and he bloody loses. I mean, you know, they're so nasty, these coaches. You know, they're supposed to win.
Wow.
But yeah, so there you
go. The power of Nuffle.
That's it. That's it. Who's more powerful, Nuffle or the Curse? You decide. So let's get on with our media play. We know Cass loves this guy. I like my media play. I think he's fantastic. Ever since he blew up his own player in the final. And what still, when I think about it, my brain still shudders. Because that was not just that, but that was an absolute crazy game between him and Gimlick, and it was so much fun. And I was just like looking for help and saying, "Look, someone take over," because I'm lost for words. But it's almost impossible. So let's have a look at his team then. Obviously, it's got UC in there again, and I tell you what's interesting about this team. Not so that he's playing them because he plays Undead a lot. But all of a sudden, Undead are becoming really, really good. We saw Gimlick do really well with them. This season.
They're a great team. I'm surprised they haven't been more popular more often, to be honest, because they're always great for a tournament.
And even on the Xbox, there's some really good Undead teams knocking about as well. So it seems now that all of a sudden this season has been the season of the Undead. Maybe they've been seeing how Gimlick's played them, thought, wow, I want a bit of that. To be fair to our media play, 9 times out of 10 he usually is Undead. Fair enough.
I like the way that he always goes with the same team name as well. It gives it a kind of legacy.
Yeah.
Dead Can't
Dance.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I think
they're always there or thereabouts as well.
He's a consistent player. Yeah, I like Hamid. He's a very good player. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the only coach I think in the UC who's in my bad books is Flynn Sorrow, because he didn't give me any sympathy. How dare he not give me sympathy? He was very cruel to me when I was having a bad game.
No violins.
No, I didn't get them. I wanted the orchestra. I might have accepted the violin, but I got nothing. It was basically tough shit. It's Blood Bowl, mate. Get on with it. And then obviously after the game, he was whining to me about something, and I was like, "Well, hang on a minute, you want me to give you the violins?"
Both ways, Sonny Jim.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean that. No, I can't be doing with that. But that might be because I said he wasn't going to win this season's Champions Cup. What, really? If you think of it, considering my tips were always Curse, I was actually doing him a favour. But
well, it's galvanised him, and here he is top.
So, but I'm media play, great player. I like this team. I mean, like I say, he's got break tackle on his mummies. Just a shame. I always think you can get block on your mummies. That's huge. That is absolutely huge.
Yes, it is. But he hasn't got an identical double build.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. Stand firm is fantastic on them.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely. I like his.
He's got 5 guards here coming through, which is massive for Undead.
Yeah.
This team's put together, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what I'm more offended with. He always has me as a zombie, and I'm always next to Calcium Cass. And the bloody thing is, he never bloody spells my name bloody right.
Is that an accident, you think?
I don't know. I think I'm always above the jokes of the UC guys. You know, the UC mafia, as I call them. But if you don't name me right, mate, he just isn't a very good player. Although I must admit, I do quite like he's got the data player skill, so that's great. One way I make y'all live. But yeah, I mean, it's a good team. He's got an agility for goal, what's always nice.
Couple of killer whites there.
Yeah,
with the
I like the build, I really do. And like I said, he's a good coach. Just the 2 losses as well. And again, he's going to be there or thereabouts.
19-4-2, brilliant record.
I'm not sure if last season he went through undefeated as well. He doesn't lose many games, does our media player. And like I said, most of UC players are very good. I think they're all Spanish players in the Spanish league, I think, off the top of my head. But it's amazing because I think it was Mo I was talking about, or it could have been Little Yosh actually, where I said, American football obviously is a big factor in Blood Bowl. And, I was quite controversial and said basically the European fan base or player base is a lot better than the Americans. And I thought Spain, is that really a big hotbed for American football? I was like, because the Spanish and the French, very good players, obviously better than the English and the Americans. And I was like saying, why is this? I just couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
But hey, not like me to be controversial or anything like that. But it was just an honest thing. Why is it that the Spaniards seem to be just awesome at the game?
Well, that's right. And the Italians won the last Blood Bowl tournament, World Cup tournament,
Did they?
where you have to play in countries of origin. You represent your country, and the Italians wiped the floor with everyone. So yeah, maybe you're onto something there.
Well, I hope the English guy was hanged for treason. For losing. I don't know who they picked.
Is that our way, is it?
Well, if he's lost to the Italians, then yeah, he needs hanging, I'm afraid. You know, I'm sorry, but aren't we supposed to be the master race or something like that?
Except when it comes to penalty shootouts. Maybe there was a penalty.
Oh yeah,
shootout.
but that's just pot luck, innit? That's just pot luck. I mean that doesn't count. You know, don't get me started with that bloody season 1 penalty shootout my dwarf got robbed. I would have been the champion. Let's not open up thingy wounds again. Although I will say that the dwarfs have been 2 penalty shootouts since they've lowered down the penalty goals, thanks to obviously my lawyers getting that sorted, and the dwarfs have won the last 2 penalty shootouts. So there we go.
Oh, there you go.
So you know we didn't lose in vain, but yeah. So that's Dead Can Dance. LVM's the other big powerhouse team. I don't think they've got as many coaches as, you know, pound for pound, you know, where you put both teams together. I do believe UC are stronger, but LVM seem to have their number. They've beaten UC a lot of times, and in the playoffs they got the better of them for a long time.
Yeah.
Talking about that, let's go to the Champions Cup, so I don't forget it, so I don't upset anybody. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and people now are starting to get into the money. So it's all serious now. And it was like, I mean, I'm just looking from day one. I mean, the big game of day one was the clash of the champions between Last Trying Dead, who was Gimlick, who won it 2 seasons ago, and our current champion Trippers, who had his nose, so I love watching and really entertainment.
Yeah, amazing.
And you know, people saying, oh well, they think Norse will win, and I said, look, it's a curse of the champions. Champions usually crash out first season, and he did. He lost, and it's just the way it goes. It's funny how it works, things like that, because it shouldn't really. I mean, stats and stuff shouldn't really make any difference, but it is scary that the champ always seems to go the first round next time round.
Well, that's right, and we're a superstitious bunch, and I'm sure there's on some psychological, unconscious level it does play in your minds because we know it exists, and stats don't lie, man.
It's strange though, isn't it? Because it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It's very strange. Yeah.
And like my philosophy with the team Los Notas, what was obviously Flynn Sora's team, is I said he wouldn't beat Dave's Dwarfs because obviously he was top seed, and top seeds have never got past the second round, and he won. So I was like, oh, well done. Maybe this is the season that the top seed go all the way. And what happened? The next round, he crashed out. So, you know, oh well, there we go. The curse strikes again. And like I said, so within the first two rounds, the top seed is out, the champion was out. Also, the finalist of last season, that's a bit different. They've actually gone on to win the cup the following season. So Studman Didi had a great chance to obviously follow that trend, what Gasselmal set, and win it the season after. But unfortunately, his Bretts didn't get a good draw, and they ended up playing against some nasty Chaos team and got took to the cleaners. It was
interesting in the first round as well with the Nuffle curse, because until the last minute before the deadline, it was official 999 who was the top seed.
Yeah.
And he'd obviously, this is my thinking behind it, he obviously saw, with minutes to go, that he was going in top. And so he was going to be full on for the curse. So he decided to play again, and he lost.
And I think
so all of a sudden,
well, did he not concede also? He just didn't.
No. It was a legit game. He just
He just decided to lose.
But it was so close in the rankings this season that he slipped from first to fifth at the last minute, and that's why Flynn went through. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's smart. That is smart.
I wonder if he's tried to out Nuffle. But as it is, it panned out, and they've both gone out. So obviously, there's no dupe in the curse. But fair play, that was a valiant effort to try.
It was a smart move, wasn't it?
Gaze,
And it was a smart move, and I think if I remember serves me correctly, he went out on penalties. So,
Is that
Nuffle,
right?
yeah, I'm
Oh.
sure that was the game that went to penalties, where he
You
went
can
out.
run, but you can't hide.
So it was an added insult, because like I said, he played the Dwarfs, and like I said, it was LVM, Nintendo, one of the best LVM players. He was the Dwarfs against UC's
Indeed.
Killer Dude official, and they both clashed, and LVM got the better of it. LVM Ivory Girls, that was Canary. He played against Armedia Undead. He was UC, and guess what? LVM won that one as well. And he basically took. Oh, and obviously UC. Dave's UC, he got beat by Flynn Sorrow again. That was they both UC, I think, so that really didn't matter. But he actually took.
I love this. This is going to be a fantastic
It is.
rivalry for the future.
And I tell you what, the only way this turned round, was Gasselmal actually was like, no, we are not getting beat by the LVM. This ain't happening. My vampires are gonna freaking get one over, and he actually beat Ulthun Special. What was LVM? So they got that one, and then Azwin was inspired it was the other way around, and Azwin then beat the undefeated new kid on the block, a Vucifier or something, who was undefeated, and all of a sudden,
yeah, that was one of the last games of the round, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the UC Juggernaut got going, but again, their big guy Azwin delivered, just like the Postman does. He delivered for his team, and he's still going strong. So the first round to me was it was interesting, because the good thing as well is we had 3 admins going into it, and all 3 admins got through. So UC, they was doing well, and LVM was getting applauded, but as admins we felt, hey, look at us, we all got through. And first round I thought was pretty good. We then went to day 2, and it was interesting because obviously Gimlek, the champ, was doing well. He got rid of the High Elves 2-0 and was like, hey, and don't forget, Mystic Ted,
going from strength to strength.
Mystic Ted had predicted, he had guaranteed that Gimlick would win it again, and the last time he'd won it, Mystic Ted had predicted he would win it. So everything was pointing out that obviously the Undead and Gimlick were going to win it. But Bernie's curse, or what do you want to call it, I claimed if he got through and Demented had got through, he would lose to Demented's Blood Elves, because I said that was a bad matchup. Sadly, we went and lost our first admin in a cruel twist of events against the Tulsa. But, the double 2-time champion. So if he was going to go out, you might as well go out to the best player. And that was cruel. It was cruel. And we all wept. We tried to fiddle it, but we couldn't, unfortunately.
But he's done fantastically with a very sort of a low-built Chorf team, He's kind of snuck in, and he's doing the business. He's a cup specialist, and it just shows you,
He's a great player.
You don't need a stacked up.
If you want to play devil's advocate, though, the first round, he was against Elves with Armor 7, and he had all that lovely, tackle and everything. So it wasn't a bad matchup for him. The game against you was, it wasn't a great matchup, but it certainly wasn't the worst matchup. And, there was chances there where you were almost pulled it off. So,
it was off form. Yeah, it was a bit of a shocker, to be honest.
It was like, personally, I know there's people saying you should be banned after knocking admin out. I totally agree with that, but hey. The good thing, though, was, what really pleased me was Ratastical Kinda actually beat Team Rocket. The reason why, that's a legendary team. So these Underworld were getting through. And obviously there's whispers going about that. Hang on, Mutt got to the semi-final last season. And all of a sudden this Underworld, it beat a very good Lizardman team. Very good Lizardman team in the first round. And then he's beaten TGV Major. Another UC big guy goes crashing out. And he is very good player. So another UC lost another one of their Mafia in that round. Lost Natos, obviously the
Rocket were a shoe-in for the semis. I really did.
I did. Lost Natos, the top seed, finally went out 2-0 to Double Dip. And the LVM didn't have it all their own way, as the nasty Great White Shark took out one of theirs. And Nawak was left holding the LVM flag. After the LVM knocked out another UC player. And this time it was Gasamal who went out. And guess what? I just realised that game also went to penalties. The Dwarfs got through both rounds through penalties. So,
they certainly did. And but hats off to the vampires again. They
yeah.
fought them tooth and nail right to the end, and they were unlucky to go out again. So yeah, Vamps have done very well since coming into the LE.
They have.
I've been fantastically impressed.
I think Shagrath, if he wasn't totally, drunk, he may have even beat Duran. He could have gone further, but obviously he was so paralytic that he gave him the ball and ran off the pitch. And then finally, it is where we are. We went to the quarterfinals. This is where the pressure ramps up, because this is where if you win
the
this,
sharp end. Yeah,
these are what we call the €100 games, don't they? And wow. We lost.
What a match at the top! Bloody Elves last try undid. That has to be the ticket. And what a game that is.
It was a shame that it was played at 4 a.m. It really was. I mean, obviously Gimlick. Total credit to him. He actually set his alarm early and got up early to play the game against obviously Demeter's bloody Elves.
Good man.
And it was a crazy game. Both teams had a few bad dice and crucial things. And Gimlick almost made the bloody Elves pay on, I think, 10-15 for stalling, but unfortunately the bounce wasn't canned. And unfortunately we lost our second admin too, and that was the end of him. And the Wood Elves go on to the semi-finals. And then the dream of the underworld came crashing down in the most horrific way. The troll destroyed any chance he had. It was awful, absolute awful. Yeah. I felt so sorry for him. And, it's hard enough beating the two-time champion Azwin, but to have bad fortune like that, well, it was just cruel.
And throughout the world as well, trolls can make or break a game, and he obviously.
It was a bad matchup because it was against bloody Chorse with all that tackle, block, and all that stuff. It was never going to be a good thing. So UC's final player of the UC got through to the semi-finals, so their hope lies on their probably their best player, Azwin. And then obviously double dip and imitation being played. And sadly for the LVM Lark, they lost their best player or their last player with, again, the Great White Shark took his third Frenchman player out of 3 rounds. I played Frenchman every
What happened with
time.
your match, mate?
It was going well, 1-0, even though I was getting a lot of pushes. And then second half, I didn't play very well. He played excellent, and it was 1-1. We went into overtime. He still had his wizard, and he won the toss. So he had the ball, he had the wizard, and he knocked a player out first round, first turn, and it looked like he was going that way.
The ropes. Yeah.
But he left the postman on the floor, my postman on the floor, and he had him marked up. But he could have marked him better. So it was a 3+ dodge with 2 JFRs for a 2-die hit on his ball carrier. And I had 2 options. I either played the safe route, was try and take his runner out, what was his scoring position, or I could go for the ball. And I thought, you know what, this is probably the only chance I'm going to get for the ball. I knew who it was. It was the postman. I knew that trip would make me never live it down if it failed. I can't use it dodge for shit, but it's a postman. I decided to go for it. He dodged, no problem. The 2 GFRs were no problem. And pow! And the guy went down like a bad habit. The ball went out. The crowd tried to screw me through to a dwarf, but the dwarf fumbled it. And then it was after that, it was just a brawl in the middle. And the game had been a bit of a pillar fight. And then he knocked out my Chaos Guard piece, and I actually used my Apothecary on it. Now, Duran said I offended the dwarves because he should have been knocked out, but the Apothecary stopped him from going out. After that, we got a Troll Slayer killed, we had my guys getting injured, MOBA. We had about 8 players leaving the pitch from both sides in about 2.5 turns or whatever, and it all was carnage.
That's what a tournament match is all about.
It just went bonkers. Brilliant. Absolute bonkers. And Postman got the ball. He got the ball knocked out of his hands because a dwarf dodged on a 4+. But then he got the ball back again, not using a reroll, may I add. And on 10-24, yes, not 10-25, 10-24, with penalties looming, and the dwarfs looking to win the 3rd straight playoffs. Yeah, the 3rd straight penalty shootout. The Postman delivered.
Through the posts.
He got it, 10-24, and we went through, and it was amazing. And the only sad thing was this trip never saw the greatness. And, it came up in lights, the scorer, the Postman. And that's twice now he's done it these playoffs. And, he's not even a big player. He's it came into
Well,
the
he
playoffs
is because of the name and the tradition, you know.
It came into the playoffs with no skills, and now he's got 2 skills. He's got tackle and wrestle. So it's one of those things. It's like I say, we're going about all these things about a bad look and all this sort of stuff. But we can look on the other way. That Postman has won 2 championships for 2 different coaches, and has also put me through 2 rounds of this. So it's funny how the fluff seems to make it real. So where we're at now
it does.
So where we're at now is we've got 3 finalists.
Themselves,
We've got Bloody Elves of NBP, Nuffle be praised, versus the UC of Tulsa. Obviously, Tulsa as a win. They'll play each other. Will be an absolutely amazing game. And then I will play the winner between the Dark Elves of Gerdley, Double Dip, against Shagrath's Killer Nagel. So that should be
which is happening
awesome.
When? When's that final match going?
I don't know. Tripper said somehow the stream went silent for 10 minutes. Sound just got restored. So are you telling me we've just been talking about this and it's just gone bloody... I tell you what. No, don't start saying that.
Really?
Nah, don't say that. Don't say that, Trip. You're lying to me. He's probably winding us up, But honestly, tell me if you are winding us up, because we don't want to, because this is an absolute car crash. If we've gone 30-odd minutes and 10 minutes of it, he's pulling his thing. I think he's having his on. I hope. I hope so, because we've had bad thing with my microphones before. So that's where we're at. So people's complaining that we didn't do a rundown of the Champions Cup last time. There you go. We have put a big thing into it, and they've even given you a storytelling of it. So there you go. So that Double Dip versus, you deserve that for last topic. What was the last topic? I don't really know. I don't remember stuff. So Double Dip and the invitations, that will be on my stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then I would think the semi-finals will be done till after Christmas, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Also for you,
you can get a game in. If we have to wait, we have to wait.
Yeah. For you Team Cast lovers out there, I know Trip's one of them. On my stream tonight, around about 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. GMT, he will try and finally make the money. And he's against Wood Elves of Glasshammer. That's on the Xbox though. So if he wins that, he finally makes the money. If he doesn't though, yet again he falls short at the last hurdle, and that must be getting frustrating if that happens to him. So there we go. There is the Champions Cup rundown. So let's get on.
Exciting times.
It is. Right then, buddy. What piece would you like us to have a look at today?
Well, let's have a think. So many to choose from. Let's go for something obscure. How about High Elf Line Elves?
Bloody Nora. Okay. I think I delete my High Elf team, so I will have to make one. Create a team. Let's have a look. High Elves. That's an interesting one. Trippers.
Yeah.
Human Lambman. It's High Elf Lambman. You don't get a sick. Tell you what, they win these championships, don't they? And then they think they're a big deal. Tell you. Let's put 3. I don't know. Put that. We'll put custom on just in case we need it. We'll call the stadium Trip. How was that Trip? And then we will. There we go. So we've got team sorted out already. So yeah, the in 2022. Yeah, I will win one. Right then. So here we go then. The wonderful Line Elf. What?
And they are wonderful. I mean, you think, line anything is just going to be pretty generic, but as the stats go, for base stats, they're wonderful, aren't they? I mean, AG4, Armor 8, that's wonderful, even for journeymen or mercs. Just to have one of those come in, the base stats are the best you can ask for in the game, especially for the price.
70k is not bad, but why is it that High Elves don't get played that often?
I don't know. They're brilliant, I think. I'm a big fan of High Elves. I think it's just because starting builds can be compromising, and it's not until you get into the later stages that they really come into their own as a team.
Hmm.
And I think with a lot of the appeal of High Elves, you want that instant gratification of being able to do all the fun things, and they need a little bit of care and attention. And usually, I don't know about you, but I go for a lot of Line Elves on my starting build. Usually no catches, or maybe one, you know.
Hmm.
So it's all about getting those Line Elves leveled up into, you know, proper stalwart journeymen who can,
Hmm.
you know, take a punch, avoid a punch. Of course, you want, well, you say, but yeah, Blodge or Rodge is a great starting point, and it just boosts them so much. But yeah, I'm a great believer in the fend sidestep for
Yeah.
all of them. That way they're just as annoying, they can slow a drive down, they've got enough skill just to get in the way, brilliant defensive work, and usually when they go down, they can, in theory, take a hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I don't know with high. I just don't know what it is with high elves. I don't like the reason they only have two blitzers. I've always been a big thing that's a big negative. And I like the Dark Elves 4 blitzer thing, and I think that's why a lot of people prefer the Dark Elves. I like the Wood
But
Elves
they're just
because
balanced differently, you know.
yeah,
They're good enough with just the two, you know. If they had any more than that, they'd be just phenomenal, you know. But
no,
there's reasons.
I don't know. I just don't know what it is with it. Maybe it's the movement. Movement 6 is average. Armor 8's alright, but it's not great.
It is.
The only reason it looks great is because Wood Elves are armor 7. You know, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
But then he catches are armor 7, but they are strength 3. But then again, a human is strength 3 now. Oh no, it's not strength 2, isn't it? It's armor 8. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've had a high up team before. And they've done wonderfully well, but I always think until you get them built up, like you said, late level, you always have a problem getting the ball loose with high elves, and that's the problem. If you can't get the ball loose, you're in trouble because you can't always.
Defense is always tricky, but I think they're all about all-out attack, really, and it's that scoring, passing threat that they can just get into position, and you know it's going to be a 2-turn attack, and so it's all about stalling, delaying on offense and defense. You know, just being able to stifle the opposition, and for that, the linemen are the unsung heroes of the piece. If you can get fence sidestep, blodge or rodge on any of them, then they just do wonders, and they can leave the thrower in the backfield, and the catchers can just do their thing.
Yeah. It's. I don't know what it is. I mean, the catchers they're decent. You know, like I said, the strength 3 as well. But the throwers, I mean, yeah, they come with safe throw, what's really nice. But apart from that, it's the same with like the Elven Union, where they're like, oh yeah, they were awesome because the catchers come with nerves of steel, so they get an airless skill.
Yeah.
And obviously the blitzers come with sidestep, that's awesome. But again, they're armor 7 and they're not very quick. So I don't know.
Well, you've just got to position well and stall for time. I think clock management has an amazing amount to do, because you can score in a blink of an eye if you put your mind to it, but you never want to. You know, you've always got to be looking at the turns and how it's all going to transpire, and how much defense you'll need to put in, and how much stalling. And when you get your tactics down with them, they're just genius for that. They really are.
Yeah, I must admit I like the armor 8. I mean, you know, that is a big reason why you play
It's a
IELTS.
big step up from AV7. It really is.
Because, like I say, you can still because you're agility 4, you can still, you know, dodge away from blocks, so you're not letting them hit that often, and that's what I like. I think the combination of having the armor 8, what's better, and then still being an elf and having agility 4 that you don't have to block. It's your choice. So long as you don't roll a lot of ones, you can disengage almost all the time. What is obviously a massive advantage.
That's right. And
so,
of course, you can pepper in a couple of auxiliary players, maybe roll double and get one with guards, you know, who you can move quite well and get into position pretty easily. And you get a kicker as well. You've always got that blitz threat, you know, so...
So what if?
It's
So what? So for normal fair skill, what do you go for? Do you go for dodge? Do you go for block?
I go for dodge first.
Yeah,
I think
same
I
as
try
me.
to get as many. Yeah, many. It's such a powerful skill, and yeah, block keeps you on your feet. But yeah, I guess to a certain extent, you can't do just blanket dodge. Really, you need to get a couple of wrestlers in there maybe early. But yeah, mostly I'd go for dodge.
Yeah, I think me personally, I'd probably go wrestle fend on the line of scrimmage. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's probably the way to go, and the rest of them we dodge. Because obviously you want to be disengaging, but the problem we see a lot of the times is you could end up banning rerolls if you don't have the dodge, and that's where
Well, that's right. Yeah, and
elves
it's
come
the
into problems.
movability. Yeah, it's just that one dodge away will just keep your guy up and the tackle zone's alive.
Yeah.
And if you get it early, then the chances of you being paired with another team who doesn't necessarily have block on their LOS, so
Yeah.
they're going to have to roll an ace to get you down.
Yeah,
So
so that's it, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like a
dodge.
double one's the only thing what can fail. So if you can disengage all your players and he gets to only hit one a turn, what's obviously the ideal thing for elves, then you're going to win more than
Yeah.
you're going to lose. Or you're not going to lose because everyone's off the pitch. And obviously with them having the extra armor of 8 is good. And like I say, when I had my team, I really enjoyed them. I really hated them, and then I got a team quite high up, and then my catchers all started getting leap, wrestle, and all that sort of stuff. I basically built them just to get the ball loose. I had a lot of fun with them.
Brilliant.
Eventually, all the games
Yeah,
started
I-
wear and tear, but they are doable.
That's it, yeah.
But I sort of noticed, again, Gerdley's gone with high elves and done very well with them, but there's very little. I remember Serious Jest doing really. He got to a final, I do believe, with high elves when he got.
I think that's right. Well,
He got beat by that ridiculous super tough dark elf stat freak team, I think, of Fant Foxes. So he's basically because of that more than anything else. But they can do it. But I always see, and it's same with the Xbox, although one of the guys has actually got quite far with the high elves this season, but they don't seem to be that popular. It's one of those teams what is obviously good, but people just for some reason do not connect with them.
That's it. Yes, yeah. And well, I don't know. It's that's an interesting thing. It's like generally across the board there are unpopular races and very popular races, and I think I just appeal to everyone. Give them a go because every race has something to offer. They've been designed in a certain way to have different. It just adjusts your game plan. You're familiar with certain races and you have your go-to plays and stuff, and it's lovely for the game. It really opens up the game for you to just try something totally different and adjust your strategies and really think, wow, I've never been in this situation before, how do I handle it? And every race has something to offer, so I'd really say to anyone, get out your comfort zone from once in a while, because it improves your all-round game.
I mean, the thing is as well, it's like obviously you get your dodge, and then you can get Rodge, or you can get block next, wrestle or block, and all of a sudden after 2 skills, your lineman's got blodge. So if they haven't got tackle, then they're going to struggle to get you down, and if they do, your armor rate's going to help you. And then obviously you can dodge away on a 2+ with a built-in reroll. So all of a sudden now our land elf is now costing 110k. Well, it is a bit pricey, but for that 110k, movement 6,
to get him off his feet.
Strength 3, agility 4, armor 8. The problem is when you get to the stage of having blodge, which way do you go? Because I'm thinking maybe sidestep, then diving tackle, then that makes him a right pain. But also, obviously, for about 150k, you've got an ultimate defensive build on the land one. Or do you go? What other builds could you do?
I go fend.
Fend
and sidestep is an amazing combination. That's my go-to on ghouls as well. Once I've got the blodge, fend and sidestep are just an amazing combination. You just become such a menace.
That's interesting.
I've never having 6 or 7 guys with blodge, sidestep, fend. It's just impossible. It's like a forest that you just can't get past, and it's just so annoying for your opposition. It's brilliant fun.
I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I take fend because I've got blodge, and it's that saying in blodge we trust. Not that it always works,
Yeah.
but so I'm just basically putting this character as we've said. So we've got Blodge, we've got Fend, and you said Sidestep. So let's have a look at what he looks like now. So it's 150k. You need a power to get rid of it if you haven't got tackle.
150k. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I'd pay for that. That's star player qualities.
I think I would definitely would. I would love to see how this works, Fend and Sidestep. I must admit, I'm intrigued because I would honestly, I would definitely definitely swap Fend for diving tackle every day of the week.
Yes, well, sometimes it won't hurt because I mean you're going to come up against other agility teams, and in that case, I'm a massive fan of diving tackle, definitely.
But I'm definitely interested.
It's
definitely interested to see this because I've never seen a build like this where they've
well, as a Bretonian coach, blanket Fend.
Oh yeah,
it has its moments, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can
just
be.
Just imagine that having that on a half a dozen AG4 players.
Yeah.
There's so much mischief you can get up to.
And it stops from piling on as well, so that's always a good thing.
Absolutely, that's it.
Because obviously that's what a lot of killers have. So this guy then, he's got dodge, he's got block, he's got fend, he's got sidestep. For some bizarre miracle, this guy, he's like the postman, he keeps scoring and delivering. What do you give him after that? I mean, what would you give him? Maybe if he survives after 4 levels.
Well, you'd like to think that maybe by then you might have been lucky enough to roll a double or a stat up.
Okay, and what double would be suited for this?
Well, I don't know. The world's your oyster then, isn't it?
Yeah, because if he's got blodge already, would it be a crazy move to go stand firm before you get sidestep, or would you just go something like guard instead?
I'd go for guard instead. Yeah, I'd go for guard instead.
And I remember
stand firm's an interesting one. I wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah.
Well, so you blodge, aren't you? You blodge, so you just stand there. Yeah. If they can't get you down, then obviously, I do it on dwarves all the time. It's brilliant. I love to have long beards with blodge stand firm. It's superb. It is so annoying. I mean, I had the same.
On elves.
I had the same problem last season against Case Dwarfs stand firm. Couldn't knock them down, so I was stuck. And against Dwarfs last round, I couldn't get this stand firm guy down at all, and I was just stuck there. And it was so annoying.
I know. Well, it takes up your time, doesn't it? It distracts you trying to get this guy down.
Yeah, because guarantee if you want him pushed, you don't get him down, and that's it. And you don't want to be burning your rerolls either. So it is quite annoying when that happens. So stand firm's a good choice. But yeah, I mean, like I said, stat ups, obviously you take agility, you take strength. I personally wouldn't take armor. I think armor rate's good enough. Would you take movement on this guy, though?
Yeah. I know you're not a fan of movement.
I aren't a fan. I'm not a fan of movement.
I am.
Unless it's on something really fast.
If
it's something really fast, I'm quite happy.
It's big.
I'll take out the gut runner.
6 to 7 is
or
a match winner.
Anything with movement 8.
Movement wins games, man. It does. It wins games.
It certainly does.
There's no dice in the world. When you're that one square short of the end zone, there's no dice in the world that will help you.
That's it. That's very true. Like I said, anything 8 movement and over, I'm so on the movement train. But when there's movement 6, I'm thinking, really? Will it make that much difference? And sometimes it has, When I have done it, it has actually. I've thought, wow, I'm so glad I took the extra movement. But for some reason, unless it's late on, I am very reluctant. Now, if I got the chance of movement here on this piece, I probably wouldn't take it, I'll be honest. I would be looking at something completely different.
There's always the armour debate as well. But I think in all my years of Blood Bowl, whenever I've taken AV up, he's died the next.
Yeah, we've had a few of them in the playoffs where they've took. We had I think it was against Gimlick when Lexington D. He had no skills or something. Or he had 1 skill or no skills, and he took armour as the first skill or something. And obviously Gimlick's guys went bang
that's
and broke him. And just broke him. I'm like, that armour now really did well for him there. He's splattered, and that's it, isn't it? I get why people.
I play dwarves and halflings, and the amount of armor breaks I get against my dwarves. People are either going to roll double 6s or double 1s for armor. It doesn't seem to be any in between. So armor's a myth anyway.
Yeah, I'm always a point that I'll get all this set armor and then I'll run into claw anyway because so much claw and it's pointless. So it's like I'll go with it. I mean, if you got a really nice piece. Then armor, you think, you know what? later on, I'd probably think of taking.
Yeah.
But on a line elf, unless he's seriously crazy like Agility 5 Wrestle Elite piece, then I ain't going to take
It kind
it.
of seems like an unnecessary bloat, doesn't it?
I suppose the only other way I'd probably take armor is if he was line of scrimmage, he had wrestle, he had fend. So then I'd probably go, you know what, I'll give him the extra armor because his sole purpose is to take hits off the front line. I think that's the only way I would.
Sneaky git. You never know.
Oh, I don't want to get my playset
Throw
off.
down a little.
Well, that's not very healthy. Putting the boot in.
But it means you can just do a little opportunistic dig, and you never know what's going to come of it.
I
You're
don't
standing
know.
next to some guy, little douche, boom.
I don't know. It seems but yeah, I mean, like I said, the for 70k, right? Trippers was saying 70k Lanos are not wonderful. When you said there's wonderful, he said they are not. He hasn't really said why that was. He just said they're not. Just says.
If he said it, then that's the law.
Well, he's the champ, so the champ's always right,
Exactly.
apparently. So he knows what he's talking about. Trip knows best. That's how I always say. So.
Well, that's that piece out the window.
Yeah, so let's just throw it all away. It's no good. But I don't mind him. I mean, I'm with you. Decent movement, not brilliant movement, but he's a line elf. What do you expect? Good strength,
Yeah, exactly.
good
He's
agility.
not bad,
Well,
yeah.
excellent agility, armor 8 for 70k. I don't think they're that bad at all. I think an Elven Union is 60k off the top of my head, and they're armor 7.
Yeah, they're the cheapos, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're armor 7. I'd rather pay the extra 10k and get the extra point of armor than not. So it is what it is. I mean, it is a line elf, but hey, I think for the price they're good. And like I said, they've got agility access, they've got general access, so you can get bludged in 2 skills and various other stuff. So there you go. So that is the line elf. So there we go. Right. While you are on the show, obviously you're a lot smarter than me, so we're going to use your brain here because there's been massive talk on
Always a
Discord.
mistake.
Massive talk on Discord, and I'll be honest, I tried my best to decipher what the hell Dud was going on about. I was just like, I just can't, my head hurts. About all this ELO systems and all this sort of stuff, and everyone was having a go at it. But I ain't going to put you on spot with that per se. What I'm saying is obviously there's a thing about obviously a lot of coaches, or it may be Synad, or maybe it's the admins, I don't know, are trying to find a way to develop the Champions Cup. Now, obviously, it's an interesting debate. I always think we should try and improve it. But
we're always tinkering around.
We are.
I mean, we are. We've come up with 1,000 ideas over the last 10 seasons. We assess them, we debate them, we work on their merits, and most of them don't get through. But I don't. We should always thrash out an idea and just get it up to speed. It's like, well, will this work? Won't this work? And we just take it on face value. But I'm just a great believer in talking, mulling things over, doing the maths.
Yep.
Running certain scenarios, and well, sometimes they're worth implementing, and sometimes they're not.
Can you see in the next few seasons where it'll be just completely changed? Like at the moment, we have obviously what we've had from very similar. I know it's been tweaked about as we know, but where we've had this obviously the way it's been run, where obviously the best team of each race obviously get through, and then we've got the 8 wildcard spots. Some people don't like the wildcard spots, some people do. Will res tournaments come in? People say no, people saying yeah. I mean, it's I've always played devil's advocate and saying like, if it's not broke, why do we fix it? That's always been my. I know a lot of people don't like that thing. They say, look, we should always improve it. But it's like I talk to a lot of people and they're like, oh God, I don't want this sort of format. And then people saying I don't want this sort of format, and people saying, oh great, I'm not keen on the format we've got now, so it'd be great to have a different format. I know we can't please everybody, but it's like
we're not here to cure cancer. It's just a tournament at the end of the day, and you've got to make a decision, and you've got to follow the ethos of the cup, and it's you're not going to please everyone,
Yeah.
But all we can do is just look at the dynamics, look at the math, look at the best way to move it forward. And it is a thing in evolution. I mean, we haven't hit a sweet spot where we're totally happy since maybe season 7. It was all good before LE came in, and a fantastic development, but of course we've had to adapt. And season 9 was kind of the tester for that.
Yeah.
And we've just got to take things away and work out, well, was it a perfect season? Where were the holes? You know, what does it imply for the future? And I don't know. We've got a lot of options to go through, and yeah, where do we go? I mean, there's a lot of debate to be had, and yeah, there's a lot of new theories come up. I've been out of the mix for a couple of days, so I don't know the exact ins and outs of the whole ELO talk that's been going on about. But ELO in itself has been a tournament standard for a long time. You know, it's not an ideal theory. There's holes in it as well. But he's just applying it to the rankings. He's not applying it to everything.
Right.
Like, so I don't know. There's a few ins and outs to be ironed out, and until he's tabled the actual proposal of this is the idea, it's all kind of speculation, and I don't like it because you get a lot of hyperbole about, oh no, he said this word, that means he means that, and a lot of people can get hot under the collar with all this kind of stuff. So let's just
let's just chill out until he's put something on the table. Let's not panic. Panic, people. Panic.
But, people need to be open, and we'll just fresh things out. And if it turns out that, oh no, actually there's a few loopholes here which mean it wouldn't work, whatever, but at least we've got a clear direction,
I mean, the two things what come across to me when people are not happy, there's two things. One, there's actually three things now, come to think of it, so we'll go through all three of them. First one is the matchmaking. People are saying 500 TV is way too big of a difference, and to be honest, because I haven't really played this season,
I totally disagree.
Go on. Oh, yeah, I am. I don't know what happened. I tell you, you disagreed. That was it. You disagreed, and that was it. Oh, hello. Don't know why it's doing this. Let's see if I can get myself on. Hopefully you are still there. Hello. Right. So my wonderful. I'm. One of these days it'll work. So basically, what I was trying to say until I get probably kicked off again is. One of the problems we basically had is the 500 TV difference. Now, Messi was... Here he is now. We just got to say it's your fault. You disagreed with me. All I got was, Benny, I disagree with that, and that was it. Everything went down. It's kicked me out twice out my network. Luckily, for some reason, I think the broadcast kept going live, and it just kept going live. I don't know what happened. There'll be an
embarrassing 2 minutes where you left me hanging there. Shirking the big issues, man.
Happened last time. All I can say is my demon Christmas tree has got, obviously, it's got lights on and everything, and it must mess up.
You didn't switch the lights on again, did you?
Well, the thing is, we're going through this again where the missus likes everything hidden behind the TV. So for me to actually turn these Christmas tree lights off, I've got to turn everything off by one plug. So that's the TV, the PS4, the Xbox, everything's got to go. So that's the problem. But it just said you're not in a network anymore twice to me. I was like, oh, cheers, thanks for that. So we'll try again. Maybe you should not disagree with me. My tree doesn't like it.
Okay.
So I was just saying about the 500 TV. I know you said you disagree with it, but this season obviously I've struggled to play, and every time I tried to get a new team off the revolving door, shall we say, I've ran into Chorfs, 500 TV Chorf team. We claw and everything and
we
can't
help Chorfs, can we?
Well, we could. We could just ban them all, But
that's a separate issue, isn't it?
It is.
And the 500 TV, it's rare. I mean, you're not gonna people jump to the extreme of you're gonna get a 500 TV deficit on a killer team.
Yeah.
and that's just pushing things to an extreme theory
Yeah.
that doesn't exactly play out. I mean, according to the stats, things have never been closer, in terms of fairness and matchmaking. We never used to have this,
Yeah.
until Champions League just started. Even maybe not even in the first couple of seasons, but things. Blood Bowl players have never had it so good in terms of fairness, and the amount of matches that get played over and above 300 TV is so minimal. I mean, for the console players, because we've got such a smaller player base, maybe the stark comparisons are more evident there than they are on PC.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the way it's going, because you've got a lot of these players who play a lot compared to the casual players on the console. So you're gonna, especially on the Xbox, you're running to all the big players, and they've already got teams developed, so that's where you get to see 400-500 splits, and then you're like, if you don't get in the Madras early, it's so hard to then claw it back later on. And that's the issue.
I think playoff places are. The amount of times that they've been decided on the final week is, quite commonplace. So, and a lot of people, a lot of teams that start on day one don't usually make it into the playoffs. So there's more of a dynamic. You can't just say blanket, this is how it is. If you start grinding on week one, then you're guaranteed a spot, and you can just sit on your record. And after that, you're guaranteed to just get. You'll be the TV overdog, and it's just easy road matches. That's a myth, or it's a gross oversimplification of how the dynamics of the ladder work, and I don't really buy it. And
I mean, the only concern I have by dropping the 500 is it might be harder to find a game. Sometimes. It is you spinning for ages, and the more
limitations you put, and it's like if there's only two people spinning and they're not going to get matched up, then that's worse for the game than if you get a mismatch. And with inducements, 500 TV overdogs lose all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I've beaten people with a 500 deficit because you can get loads of goodies, and at the end of the day, there's 11 versus 11 on the pitch. Anything can happen. It's a dice game as well,
Yeah, I think it's.
I've been a 500 TV overdog and I've lost to a rookie. I thought, oh, brilliant rookie team, and they've won.
Won. Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, I think it's a lot.
Down to the pitch, there's no such team that is so well put together they can't get diced or a good bit of strategy.
I suppose it's a lot worse when you've got I had a Lizard team, only played 2 games, ran into a trophy team with loads of Mighty Blow and Claw, 500 TV higher, and there's just nothing I could do. But if I had an Elf team, I don't know, Wood Elf team, I could have won that game because obviously it'd been a better matchup for me. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm in both camps.
You're into a bogey race, it's
think
always going to be nasty.
Personally, on the PC, it'd work a lot better, say 300 TV, because obviously it's there's a lot more players. I think for the consoles though, it would be dicey. I think it'd be a bit more risky, and you could lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
And like I said, rather play than not.
I'd oppose any further drop in the TV thing. What I would do, and what I think a lot of people will be open to, is to have rookie team protection, and say for your first 5 matches, you're not. Maybe there would be like a 300 TV buffer.
Yeah, what I think would be a lot better. I think that would be.
I wouldn't be any more lenient than that, but maybe just so that it's not a fresh team, and you just get put up in front of a nutter. But by and large, it's not an issue for me. I think it works perfectly fine, and Blood Bowl's Blood Bowl. And if we cut it down to 300 TV, Morg wouldn't exist.
Oh, God bless.
So
not even Morg.
By game design, you're supposed to go up against that team's level of TV deficit, and it's not impossible to beat. Yeah,
I mean the thing is on to another subject. The other problem what comes up about is people are fed up of running into Chaos Dwarfs, Chaos Kill teams, They're saying it's ruining the game, it's putting people off. I mean, is there a way, though, we can actually minimise this? Is it actually possible to stop this influx of problems? I mean, you know, it's
people are always going to play teams with high resilience who you can just grind away with. There's no getting around that. I mean, that's just how it is. And if you want to be in a pseudo-competitive environment like CCL is, of course there's gonna be a majority of coaches who want to hedge their bets and not go for anything too wacky. But no, well, I just like to promote any race. I think they're all great. They've all got a chance, and just I think the way that it is now, with the wild cards being the top ranked teams, ranking has more of an appeal than it necessarily should have for the ethos of the game, because it's supposed to be best of each race.
Yeah.
Rather than the interplay between the whole dynamic. Whereas with 8 wild cards, because I think we've had wild cards in the past, but there's only been like 3 or 4.
That's
just
right,
make up the numbers, which was cool. But now that we've got 8, it is becoming an issue.
But I suppose
that we need to address.
Yeah, to me, I like it. I like the 8 wild cards because it gives.
I've enjoyed it. Yeah, but
it gives you more option to play.
The problem is there will be more Chorf and Chaos grinders as a result, and so if you like one, you're gonna have to suffer the other, because that's just the payoff, unfortunately, with the dynamic. And if there's a way around there, we'll discuss alternatives and stuff. But yeah, because I've enjoyed seasons 9 and 10 too, you know. Yeah. But I can see that it is kind of an issue. But I don't think there's anything that you can really do to.
Yeah, I always think with teams, my advice is, if you don't like teams like Chaos Dwarfs or I don't know Chaos, go Elf. And people say, but they've got tackle. But it's still a 2+ to dodge away from them. Yeah. So if you're smart,
not rock, paper, scissors, you know what I mean?
If you're smart and you're not, and you get normal average dice, then you'll be fine. The problem is when it's bash team against bash team, because there's nowhere to hide. You've just got to go. I mean, I think it's a lot worse for, say, an Orc to take a Chaos kill team, because they can't dodge away, or a Norse. But obviously, then with Orc, you're hoping Guard will give you a.
You've got to have the tools to bash back. I mean, piling on is available to everyone.
Yeah, everybody, even halflings, sort of.
Back. Yeah, punch them back.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, bullies don't like being hit back. But it's like you look at the first page. Obviously, it's undead now. We've obviously got the first 2 spots. You got Necro in there, but they've got regen, so they can obviously, like you said about getting a solid base. You've got regen, you've got decent armor. I mean, Chaos Dwarfs have still got 2 players in there. You've got Chaos with another 2. You've got Nurgle in there with Arzawin, but Arzawin will just get one up there. You've got Orc in there. So there's only really one agility team in the top 13, and ironically, surprised that's official 999, who usually goes bash, showing he can do it with agility, and he's gone with Wood Elves.
But it's panned out a lot better, because even though it's predominantly bash, I mean, in the first couple of weeks, I think there was 8 Chorfs in the top 13. You know, so, but you see, over the passage of time, they have faded away. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they're dominating and winning. You know.
Yeah.
They're just popular, but people have found, maybe they're not that easy to play. It's just a safe option because you feel like you're not taking so much of a risk with the AV9 and etc. etc.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of them K-12 teams have gone onto the second page now. So the side, maybe people are working them out, or they've got the tools to beat them. As the weeks have gone by. And then you've got people like Gasselmal, similar to what you did with Kenry last season. A good coach will just win with anything, or have a good record with anything. And obviously, your dog agrees. I agree. I totally agree. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So
you set him off again, Bernie.
Yeah. Well, I said that. I said there's too many Case Dwarfs. Yeah. I think it's Mercy's fault also. Yeah. We could possibly ban him, but I need him for an admin.
Pack it in.
Tell ya.
Yeah, you.
Shut up, man! He's trying to get me banned. Don't get me banned. He's like, what? You deserve to be banned. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it's one of those things that I tried. Yeah. See, he's had it again. Yeah. Messi does get all the roles. You're right, he does. Yeah, he also gets all the roles. Absolutely. But you know, it's one of those things that I get. I mean, I tried Case Dwarfs on the Xbox this last season, and I didn't like them. I didn't like them. It was too slow and all that stuff. But even though I felt like I played them badly, I still was one click away, really, from almost getting through to the quarters. But I misclicked, so that was my own fault. But
I've been there, bro. I've been there.
Yeah. So I was sort of thinking, I don't feel comfortable with them, but I could sort of see why people who were good players with Dwarfs play them, because I never felt comfortable, but I seem to always grind out results with them. So it's like, don't worry, Benny, you know, we're Case Dwarfs, we've got your back, sort of thing. We'll get you through it. So unless you lost your Dwarfs, you know, with
yeah, definitely.
But I just didn't like the speed of them. I just thought they're so slow. And like when you're trying to do smoke and mirrors and stuff like that, even if you're sucky, your opponent going down one way, it can quickly go across to the other side, no problem, because you're so slow. So there is weaknesses there. I suppose the problem is when they start getting doubles and then they get piling on, they get claw, and all of a sudden they've got the block, they've got the ram, and now they've got the bloody killing pieces with them. They've got two bull centaurs who can do. They've got cheap hobgoblins who can put the boot in. So you can see if they get the right rolls, then they become a nightmare.
There's some tasty ingredients.
Absolutely.
There always will be appeal.
So yeah. So you know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that people are saying, you know, how do we get rid of these kill teams? The honest answer is I don't know. Like I said on a previous show about giving the bit of the prize pool to, you know, lesser kill teams just for qualifying is an option. I'm not saying it'll work, but that was the only thing I could come up with. But you know, like you said, all we was doing was bouncing ideas, and maybe one day one of these will stick and it'll make it a better game. But I think you've just got to instead of the way I've always said it is this. I'm frustrated with them as well. And people say, but Benny, you're Chaos. Yeah, I went Chaos because I was fed up of running into these teams. But there is a more viable...
That itself is quite tragic, and you're probably not the only one.
Yeah, but
so
there is...
That's where it perpetuates itself, you know, if you can't beat them kind of attitude.
Yeah, well, the other option as well is because Chaos, I could just have a funny little dig at my fellow friend Callum Cass, who calls himself the Great White Shark, hence why my team's called the Great White Shark. And you know what? I've waited all these seasons for him to win the bloody Champions Cup with Chaos, and he hasn't. So, you know, it was a big prize, you know. It's like, well, what if little old me, Diet Coke here, could, like, win it with Chaos? That would be amazing. You know, so, you know, so it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek why he did it. But the point is this. The way I've always looked at Blood Bowl, and this is from years of Blood Bowling, is, look, you will never stop these kill teams coming through because a lot of people like them because they're fun and they want to kill stuff. So my advice to you,
Blood Bowl, you know, it is. Bash teams.
It's Blood Bowl.
There's all the races out there are Bash. You know, you've got to punch people. That's kind of the idea.
You know, and there's a clue in the name. But my advice is this: they ain't gonna go. It's as simple as that. So my advice is this, and I've said it about 10 times now: is learn how to beat them or learn how to, you know, cope with them. Do I need to base up this Mighty Blow Claw pile-on piece? 99 times out of 100, that should be a no. I'll be a square in front of him. I will not even get involved in there, you know.
Indeed, you've just got a box clever, haven't you?
I have seen so many orc coaches who are used to beating up other teams that they base them up. And I'm like, why are you basing him up? Because Armanan ain't going to do nothing here when he's got Mighty Blow and Claw. Right. And then they complain that, Chaos are OP. No, Chaos aren't OP, you know, because
you've just got to have a plan B.
Yeah.
You know, it can't always be just stroll down the field with two
and like I say, you know, some teams will do better against others. You know, it's just the way it is, and you've just got to find out. I always think, work on your weaknesses. If your weaknesses, you always get mullered by kill teams, then why? Yeah. There must be a reason why, because at the end of the day, they make your armor 7, but they've still got to roll 10 plus to get an injury out of them, or 9 if they got Mighty Blow, you know. So, you know, there's ways around it. Some days you can have the greatest game plan and the dice will just say no and you'll get loads of people splattered. But then there's times when I've seen elves beat the living daylights of dwarfs and orcs and lose 4 or 5 players because they've rolled high. You know, you're always going to get them games, unfortunately. Now, we know, and obviously it's been said in chat, that the problem is claw pom shouldn't stack. You know?
That old one.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
See,
it should stack.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's OP. I think it's OP. I'll be honest. I think it's OP. My Chaos team has got no piling on. I create this the Great White Shark as it would be on the tabletop. I'll be honest. There's times when I've struggled to break out, you know, to get them off the pitch. I'm thinking, crikey, you know what? If I had piling on right now, this would be so much easier. It really would. And I thought it was going to cost me last game because I had no piling on. But on the flip side, because I didn't have piling on, guess what? All my players had guard. All my killers had either guard or another good skill. So it made them better balanced. Yeah. So there is a trade-off. They can either go for the...
Yeah. Right. You've got to have to willingly put your piece on the ground. Who could have been protecting... It's a compromising your positioning. Just like doing a gang foul, just doing a sideline. You're concentrating too much on one thing, but you're ignoring the rest of the pitch at your peril. You know, so it's a big judgment call. So
There is, and like I said, if you're taking claw upon, that means there's other skills you're not taking, and that means we're going to see tonight with Carl Simcas, his Chaos team. They're a lot built for the kill, but he's only got 1 guard piece. Right. And I think he's got 1 tackle piece, and he's going against Wood Elves. So, and although it's about is about 600 TV higher than the Wood Elves, most of the true judges have said Glasshammer will knock him out because he's not got the tools. He just doesn't have the tools to beat the Wood Elves. Yeah. The Wood Elves are going to get a wizard for a fact. He's got 2 War Dancers. He can get another War Dancer if he wants, and he's got Blodge. So yeah, he's armor 7, but if you can't knock him down. And I would be amazed if Glasshammer just bases him up. He won't base him up. He'll say you can have 1 hit, and there you go. Because Glasshammer knows how to play.
Jordo Fresh Breeze.
He could do. He got 3 of them. Yeah.
3 War Dancers against a team with no tackle is just.
Yeah, I think the teams that really struggle against Chaos are Chorfs and Dwarfs because they can't run away. The strength 3, so they haven't got the strength, so they have to rely on guard. And obviously, that's just the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think elves shouldn't have as much problems. Now I've said they'll probably get destroyed with elves because they can dodge out on a 2+. So unless you're really unlucky, and if they got power on clone all that sort of stuff, that means they ain't got tackle. So as long as you've got dodge, unless you get a double 1, you're okay. So it's about how to beat these kill teams, and that is if you learn that, then the rest of it will be fine. Because I'll tell you, right. I can't think of a way we're going to get rid of these kill teams because people like playing kill teams. That's why they play it. So
and they perform an important part of the whole dynamic. I wouldn't want them to go, and I don't know.
You've just got to handle it. You've just got to handle it because it's just the way it is. And it's a lot easier to dodge on a 2+ and score than to actually injure a player and take him off the pitch. So it's if
Chaos, you can never have enough skills either. Like you just demonstrated.
Because they have no skill to start with. And the thing is as well, people going about that, but what about 1-turners? Point and click with Skaven. You get 1 movement, boom. Where's the skill in that? I've just grinded 7, 8, 10, and guess what? You've had a guy on the bench, he's just come on, click, click, click. As long as he does a few dodges, he's scored. So, it's because Chaos have the potential to wreck teams. So you've invested all this time and get your good players, and that's
a lot of people don't like their pixels getting squished.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is.
Don't be too precious about your team. They're a means to an end. Win the game.
Yeah,
that's the objective.
I think what did Rezu say? players can be replaced, wins cannot. I think what Rez used to say, and
Well said.
I would say yes, sir. I will remember when I'm weeping when both my war dancers are dead. That hey, but we won, so it doesn't matter. But I understand. I totally understand when you've 4 weeks into it, you get ready for your playoffs, you play like one extra game, run into a case team, and then just wipe half your team out. It's happened so many times before, but that is just the way Blood Bowl is. Blood Bowl is not supposed to be fair. People, if that was the case,
it's a judgment call. It was up to you whether you wanted to play that extra game and whether it's going to backfire or not.
And it's your call to play this team. And at the end of the day, if you haven't conceded so many games earlier on, and it's later on, and you got them concedes, if you really want to, you can say, you know what, you can have the win, mate. I'm going to go and just concede here. So there's all sorts of different tactics.
Dirty coaching.
It is dirty coaching, but what I'm saying is, you've got that option. If you really want to wuss out and do that, look after your team, as long as you haven't conceded early on in the competition, then you have got that. I don't like it, but there is another option. But to me, you just got to learn how to handle them. My case dwarfs was against a 600 TV higher calcium cast kill team with chorfs, and it was a misclick what got me out. I didn't get any star players. I got 3 apothecaries. I had 1 and 2 apothecaries, 2 babes, a wizard, and stuff like that. So my strategy was, I know I'm going to get hurt, so how can I keep as many? And sadly, at the end of the day, when I went to overtime, I rolled double 1 from a knockout, so they didn't come back. But that's just the way it is. I did it as best I could. My 3 apothecaries have been used.
Approach. There was another strategy. You came up against a challenge, and there's multiple ways to deal with it. That's half the fun, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Like I said, I had 3 apothecaries. They all worked, so I still had them play. They'd save 3 players, even a death. And the wizard didn't work, but that's just the way it is. You just got to do the best you can, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Sometimes the dice just ain't it's just not gonna be your day, and that's why anybody can win. That's why the best players don't always win the Champions Cup, because it's a dice game, so it's random. You can only put percentage, get the percentage in your favour, and then it's up to you. Then it's up to the dice if they're gonna say yep or no, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. And that's why the game can be so frustrating. That's why everyone rages. That's why everyone throws controls or whatever they do, and
but the 16
and that's
turns, and it's so rare that you never get one opportunity. So as long as you hang tight and you're pushing them hard, if things are going to be going against you for 15, if that one opportunity arises, and it usually does if you look for it, there's a way to swing it. There really is.
It's just experience. It's just experience and doing. I mean, I've had some horrid luck in the playoffs. Absolute horrid luck. Even in the final, when the crowd threw it to the only place, threw it anywhere else, I'd have been the champion. Yeah, but that's just the way it goes. Honestly, that happened. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And I was gutted, but you just get on with it. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. I mean, it's like
you're still in it.
It's just the way it is. It's frustrating.
So maybe this time, Bert. Maybe this time.
You've just got to. I think what it is we always remember the bad luck. We never remember the good fortunes, because that's not important. That is it. Selective memory. We aren't bothered about the good things, because hey, they should happen because we're all great. But it's when the bad things happen that we feel like Rob cheated, because I've done it right. Why is that guy getting the look? Why is he picked the ball up on a 5+ when I've been spending freaking 2 rerolls trying to pick it up on a 3+? It's a lot of BS. Why is my armor now breaking when I can't break his armor 7?
But we get those from match 1 of week 1 until the final of the final.
It's just
cup,
bad timing when it happens in the playoffs.
That's the game,
It just happens in the playoffs.
But it can be bad timing anyway. If it happened earlier, maybe we wouldn't have made the cut in the first place.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, and I think I'm totally sympathetic with kill teams. I really am. But the fact of the matter is, we've tried. I mean, us admins will keep trying to see if there's any way we can try and make it. I think the reasons why we'd want it less kill teams is because then we see a lot of the other new fun teams being played. I think that's it. We actually don't really have a problem with kill teams. It's like we have a problem that a lot of teams are not getting played a lot. High Elves, we mentioned that earlier, don't get much exposure. There's a lot of legendary teams what don't get as much exposure while they should do. And maybe
they're all tier 1 teams as well that are getting neglected. I mean, it's not just
it's not just like halflings and stuff.
No, that's right.
So, you know, that's something we would like to try and promote these other teams getting a go, and like Kemri and stuff like that. Who seem to have a few people who play them, and that's it. So it is one of those things where we will look into it, and we will do our best as always. There's plenty of people who bounce ideas off, and obviously Dode's trying to do a ranking system, see if that bring it better. And the thing is, Dode has said, look, if the ideas he's got at the moment aren't as good as what we've got, so if they're not as good, he ain't going to put it through. He's only going to ever change it is if we find something what everyone agrees with, and he makes it better. And
if we identify it's a real problem that needs addressing, and if you know.
So, you know, we're not going to, you know, we're sympathetic with people where they say about Club Pom, you know, it should be in the game because, hey, you know, the tabletop, you know, says otherwise. And yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, we're done. But it doesn't look like Cyanide are going to change it. So what can you do? You've just got to get on with it, unfortunately. There's a few other ones. I'd love the MVP rule to come in. That is awesome. I love it. Some people don't.
No, that's Diet Blood Bowl, mate.
Hey, who you think you are, Carlton Bloody Cass? Don't start going Carlton Cass on me. But you know, but the thing is, you can't please everybody. Like you've just said, I think that the MVP thing's great. You says it isn't. Some people think Claw Pom's overpowered. Some people say it's not. It's just that people can't deal with it. So you know, you're never gonna please everybody. And this is the whole point of being a human. Everybody's personalities are different. Everybody, you know, is gonna like different things. You know. What you know, that's just the way it is. Your dogs like Toga to me instead of you. You know, that's just the way it is, mate. You know, what can I say? But you know, and yeah, because he's like, oh yeah, he
must be listening to it.
Bernie the Wise, yeah, definitely, yeah. The dog whispers talking, yeah, absolutely. The only time you'll hear whispering in my voice is that, yeah. But you know, it's one of those things. And the nanny is in. Morning, gents. Yes, it is. What time? It's not morning here, but yeah, Messi was just talking about you. Yeah, absolutely. Saying, no, I can't believe he lost them Underworld. No, anyway, good to see you, Onania. But yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, my advice is, don't like kill teams. Not most of us don't. You know what? Kill teams don't like playing kill teams because they know they can lose as well. We like seeing kill teams against kill teams because that's fun. But nobody likes playing a kill team because they can lose players. But it is what it is. If you don't, I mean, I suppose would I be right in saying, Messi, if you're scared of kill teams or you don't like them, play high agility teams who don't have to base. You know, like we've said with the Elves and the Agility 4, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Try that. And just don't let him have one hit of 10. Because I tell you what, nothing frustrates a kill team more than only getting one hit of 10. So, because then, you know, the chances...
Like I mean, it's tough to... Sometimes you just don't get those red X's.
Yeah. And the other thing, I'll tell you one thing we didn't mention. Remember, these Beastmen are only armor 8. They are standard armor. And I'll tell you now, even though I've got to the semi-finals... I've lost Beastmen every single game from death, niggling injury, whatever. They
go down, that's right.
They go down. They get, you know, you hit them, they're still in the armor. They're like a glass hammer. You know, it's like, you know, if you hit them, they'll break. They may dish it out, but they can't really take it. And if you've got Mighty Blow as well, they're going down. They are going down, and that's the fact. So you've just got to be like, when you play against things like Chaos teams, you've got to use guerrilla tactics, you know, hit and run.
Play to your strengths. You know, the dice are 6 sides for both teams. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
And
a team that's built to kill, might not. You know, there's no guarantee. You know, you're going to get down.
Exactly, and people say, "Oh yeah, sorry about that, Benny, but what about Case Dwarfs?" Right? Okay, well let's have a look at Case Dwarfs. Ramanan. Right, the movement is 4. So most of the time you're going to be quicker than them. How about we attack the Hobgoblins, who are only armor 7 and very rarely have a few skills? You get rid of them, or you know, then all of a sudden they've got more gaps. They've got more gaps, and that was another reason we marked quarterfinal against Cass. I had no speed. All my Hobgoblins were off the pitch apart from one. You know, so I had no speed, so I couldn't do nothing. And you know, yeah, the art is killy. We know that, but if there's gaps in his defense, what there will be if you outnumber him or whatever, then you know you're gonna beat him more time than not. And this is it. It's just a strategy of working out. I'm amazed how many. I'm amazed how many people say, "Oh, I've knocked a couple of zombies out." Yeah, well, there might be only a couple of zombies, but guess what? That's 2 more players who can't base you up, can't plug a gap, you know. And this is it. I always go for weak links. Granted, if I'm a kill team, I'll look for what's going to hurt me. But if I'm not a kill team, I'll look at what's easy to get rid of. How can I get its numbers down quicker to give me the gaps, to give me the numbers? Because at the end of the day, unless you're Wood Elves, it's a numbers game, and if you can get more numbers than he does.
Yeah.
You can defend
there's a
better.
Reason why the high armor teams have high armor, because it only takes 1 or 2 off the pitch and they're in serious trouble.
Because they've got the speed, and that's it. You know, and it's all about strategy at the end of the day. You know, and you've just got to work out if you struggle against kill teams. Just think, you know, why I've got this problem. There's always a reason why. Always. If you don't even have to look at kill teams, why do I always struggle against Wood Elves? Check. Why? Is it because I don't put my guard in the right places when I dive into my cage? Am I giving it to the right place? Is my team set up for a defense blitz? You know, and various stuff like that. I've got a slow guy who gets the ball.
You should always be asking is what could I have done better? Yeah. And looking back at your own replays of the matches before, you'll find invariably there is always something that you could have done.
I had problems against Wood Elves all the time. The amount of times, even when I wanted a defense blitz, my dwarf would go after the ball, and by the time he picked it up, I had a wall of Wood Elves after me. And I was like, what can I do? So what did I do? I got kick-off return. All of a sudden, kick-off return, woohoo! Put a few dwarfs a bit deeper.
Now there's a skill which is just phenomenal. I always take it on my dwarves and my orcs, everything. Yeah.
But I got kick-off return. I dropped a few dwarfs back, and all of a sudden that problem of the Wood Elves getting to me within 2 turns, turning the ball over, almost had vanished because of that. So that is a thing where I look back at my game and say, why is this happening all the time? It shouldn't happen all the time. And I'd realise, well, you know what? If you got this skill, that's an extra 3 squares before you. So basically, you're moving now on your first turn. What is amazing, and that's all you've got to do. You've just got to, I'm
a great believer in kick-off return.
See, I never used to take that.
The arms race, you know,
I never used to take it, and then obviously I took it once.
You've been enlightened. Yeah.
I mean, we've got it back a few years now, but you know, I never used to take it because I always thought there's better, cool skills. But then obviously, when you keep getting bent by a certain race, you think, well, why is that? And then it was like, well, you know what?
Believer in it, definitely.
And you've just got to evolve and improve, and that's basically that. So anyway, we've come to the final part of the show, and this is really, really important. It's time for Battle of the Consoles.
What's going on? What's the deal?
The deal is the PS4 were crowned champions in Season 1 of the Battle of Consoles.
Absolutely.
So you guys are smarter than the Xbox lot. It's as simple as that.
Well,
you know, so the PS4 is the real deal. You guys are the boss. Now, we started it last week. Unfortunately, the Xbox team only got 1 right. And we had Mutt, who obviously is an Xbox player. He was flying the flag for the PS4. What went down like a lead balloon with the Xbox lot, and he actually won. I think he got 3 or 4 right, so he's actually put the PS4 into the lead. So you know, there's been chance.
Well, we know where his loyalty's now.
Absolutely,
he's been converted.
It's all about the win, isn't it? It's all about the big W. All about the big W, and that he's obviously saying he's back in the winning team. The screams of Judas and stuff coming from the Xbox crowd was, they weren't happy. So, we haven't done the Xbox show yet, so you are the first to go. So you need to get a good score.
Right, okay.
So, you know, we expect 10 out of 10, obviously.
Christ. When you serve them up, I'll knock them out of the park.
Absolutely. So, just in case anybody doesn't know, he has 60 seconds. I ask him 10 questions. Some will be about Blood Bowl. Some will be about the Blood Bowl League and various other stuff. So if people have been paying attention, they should know. So Mess is screwed already. So I'm going to get my
research on this. Yeah.
No, of course you don't. I never give you a thingy. I just make them up on the day, so it's not like I do any research. So I'll just put my countdown clock ready, and as soon as I ask you the first question, then the time will go. When it decides to load up. I'm still got to tell you what, my eyes are terrible. It's getting dark here. Getting dicky dark. So I'll probably end up murdering after these.
It is already our shortest day of the year today.
Is it really? Oh,
yeah,
I wonder why that is. I'm going to have to put this light on. I can't see Jack. Or Jill, for that matter. I'm just going to put the curtains across. There you go. You see proper prime time viewing this. Almost took myself out with the chair. So there we go. Stretch across there. Get my light on. This is where I'll probably knock the network off because, hey, stuff like that happens. There we go. So no expenses spared for you, mate. We're all ready.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Are we ready then? Let's get going. Right. What race has every positional with the same stat line?
Amazon.
What is a maximum amount of claw pieces you can get in a necro team?
2.
Elven Union starting skills on a catcher.
Oh, Nerves of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Catch. Did they come with dodge as well? Yeah, I'll say dodge as well.
Okay. What strength is a Goblin Fanatic?
7.
Which Fanatic costs more, Fungus the Loon or Fez?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll go Fez.
How much does a reroll cost on a Kislev team before a game is played?
I'm going to go for 70.
Who did Mr. Ted predict to win this season's championship? Which coach?
Oh, that's a good question.
And this is the last question because your time is out.
Damn it. Okay, just for posterity, I'm going to say Gimlick again.
Okay. Right, okay, so let's go through them. What race is every positional with same stat line? You have said Amazon, and that was correct. What is the maximum amount of claw pieces you get in an Echo team? You said 2. It's wrong, it's 3, because you when you're playing a game, you can get Cheney. So that's 3 claw pieces.
God.
Oh, that's sneaky, I know. It is. I have to get them in. But technically, though, I am right, because if you play a game, you can have 3 claw pieces. Now then, you'll kick the next one. Elven Union starting skills, Never Steal and Catch. That is all they get. They don't get dodge. So you actually had it right. I put the tick down, and then you changed it. What strength is a Goblin Fanatic? What is 7? He was correct, so you got that one right. Who costs more, Fungus the Loon or Fez? Well, Fungus the Loon costs 80k, Fez costs 100k, so he was correct. How much does a reroll cost on the Kislev team? You said 70, it was 50. And who did Mr. Ted predict to win the this season? You thought, you know what, I'll just guess with Gimlick, and you was correct. He did pick Gimlick. So, well done you. So you get a solid score. That is a good score, 4. Hey, 4's won many competitions. So, that is the score from to beat. So technically, they need... Hey, they need 5. 4 is a draw, means no one gets anything. So they've got to do well. So I'd be happy with that. Messi, you're still a big deal after that round. You've done yourself
Thank
well
you
there.
much, sir.
And Annie, you may be, mate. You may be right. Maybe Mutt is turning to the PS4, seeing the light from the dark side. Who knows?
He's seen the light, mate. Yeah,
That's it. So there we go. We are done. Just to remind everybody, on my streaming tonight, we have the big game between Callum Cass and Glasshammer. In the €100 knockout. The winner gets €100. It is Wood Elves and Chaos on the Xbox, but I will be streaming that with Space Magic W. And then tomorrow at 3 p.m. we have the final quarterfinal of the Champions Cup. The winner faces me and my Chaos. It is between Gedley and his Dark Elves and Shagrath and his Nagel Kill Team. So that should be an absolute cracker. So they're the next 2 things coming up, and there will be a Blood on the Box show before Christmas as well. So there's the 3 things to look forward to. As always, I'd like to thank my guest, Mercy Flush. Great to have you on board yet again.
Thank you,
I'm sure the PS4 crowd will be happy. Obviously, your dog's superstars as always, so great respect to them and their insight. They always talk more sense than both of us put together, so well done to them. And I just hope everybody on the PS4 has a happy Christmas, prosperous New Year, and all the shenanigans. And I hope you have really good rolls, unless you play against me, because I need them.
Merry Christmas, guys.
And we'll see you in the new year for the next show. So take care, and we'll see you in 2018. Bye-bye.